Today is a very special day, you guys, because not only is today the season finale of Star Wars The Bad Batch, but it is also the 5-year birthday of this channel, Sector for Nerds. For those that have been on the journey with me, whether it be since day one, whether it be from the last couple years, whether it just have been yesterday, thank you all for coming on this ride with me. It is because of you that we made it to 1,000 subscribers, and it is because of you guys that we are going to continue to move forward and upward. So with that, you guys, let's talk about this season finale of The Bad Batch. But first up, I want to give a shout out to Caleb's Cave of Collectibles for being a $5 and above tier member. And you as well can become a member by clicking on the link in the description below or at the end of this video. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet as well. So not only was this the season finale of season 3, but it was the series finale. I felt like this was everything that it needed to be. It very nicely closed the book on the story of The Bad Batch, but in typical Dave Filoni fashion. And I feel like an idiot for not seeing this coming. When he closes one book, he also opens another. I got fooled at the very end of this episode when it faded to black, and I'm like, oh, yep, that's it. Well, yeah, that was a nice feel-good ending. Not everyone has to die, or in this case, no one has to die. Because I know so many people were sitting there like, oh, you know, this person's gonna die, and this person's gonna die, and it's like, I feel like it's just nice that nobody died, that they all just got to live and live peacefully. Kind of interesting, though, that they were back on Pabu and the fact that there was no Imperial presence there, but I don't know, I guess, like, if Hemlock and his forces were the only ones that knew about it and then they were all dead, I mean, I guess it makes sense. But it was like, okay, this is the end of the episode, and then, nope, there's still one more scene. And it's a freaking time jump. This is basically the same ending that they did for Star Wars Rebels. It's like, you end the story, and then you do a time jump with kind of like a to-be-continued sort of thing. And that's kind of what this was. Because it's older Omega, and even older Hunter. This was great. And it basically sets up for Omega to join the rebellion, which I think is pretty cool. And my guess is that's going to set something up for whether it's Ahsoka Season 2 or whether it's something like a new animated show that they have coming up. Surely this would mean that Omega would have to reunite with someone like Captain Rex, who was a part of the rebellion, or even to have her reunite with Hera, who, like, the two of them became like best buddies in season 1 of The Bad Batch. I would love to see the two of them reunite as adults. And Hunter did say, if you ever need our help, we'll be there. So setting up that we could potentially at some point as well see, you know, much older versions of Hunter, Wrecker, and Crosshair. No Tech, though, because Tech is pretty much officially dead, as I feel like we probably all should have saw coming after season 2, but also just the way it happened, I'm like, well, but he could also be the Winter Soldier here, right? But no, he was not one of the clone soldiers, but my brother did speculate. He did think, wait a minute, are these all like clones of like the Bad Batch? Because like one of them had super strength, one of them had the swords like Hunter would, even though Hunter carries a knife. But it was an interesting theory, right? And there were 4 of them, so there was a lot of dark stuff that happened in this episode, though. Like, you had Rampart shooting Nalase, but Nalase had also activated a thermal detonator, which apparently had a really long fuse to it, because it didn't blow up right away when she activated it. But after she gets shot, it ends up exploding and Rampart dies. Crosshair's hand got cut off. They did make it look like they were going to kill a lot of these guys off. But again, I'm glad that it didn't go down that way. I'm glad, look, for everyone that's upset about Scorch, if there is anybody upset about it, all I got to say is that man chose his own fate. He was like Rampart's right-hand man this entire season. I don't think there was going to be any salvaging this guy. Rampart got everything he deserved. I love that scene where they're on the bridge and it's raining and Hunter and Crosshair are talking with each other like, I can't get a shot. Like, not with Omega so close. Like, I can't risk that. And Hunter's like, just take out the cuffs. Just wait for your moment. You know what you got to do. Omega knew what to do. Everyone played their part to perfection. As far as Bad Batch Member of the Week for the final week of this show, you guys, this might be a corny answer, but I think I'm going to give it to everybody. Everyone had their roles to play in this episode. And not that it's never been like that before, because the Bad Batch has always been a team. But this was one of those episodes where the only way that they were ever going to get out is if they worked as a team. It's funny because Crosshair had mentioned before, like, you guys need to wake up and realize that Clone Force 99 died when Tech died. You're not the same squad you used to be. And while I don't think he's wrong, I think that Tech's death has only made them, like, their relationships with each other grow stronger. And the idea of Omega being captured and them never seeing her again, like, that was the stuff that motivated them to try and get everybody back together. Also, I think that moment when Crosshair said Clone Force 99 died when Tech died, I think that that was the moment where I, like, went, oh, okay, Tech's dead. This whole season, I've been denying it, thinking that, okay, maybe it's this operative. Now, I will make a good argument that if your intention was to not make us think that it's Tech, even though I do think that was part of their intentions, was to try and make us think about it. But if you didn't want to make us think about it, then you should have had Crosshair kill him off in the episode with Rex and everybody. That would have been like a definitive, okay, that wasn't him. Speaking of Rex, you guys, I think my one criticism of this episode is I wish that Rex and the boys would have been there. Because this whole journey of getting to Tantus involved them as much as it did the Bad Batch. I understand that it's the very end of the series. You want to make this about the characters, like our main characters that we've had throughout the entire show. Though I do think that there was an opportunity to bring Rex in and to bring all of these other people in that we've seen throughout the show. Like, we haven't seen Commander Cody since that one episode of season 2. What's going to happen with Asajj Ventress? There's a lot of open questions. Now, my hope is that whatever the next animated show is, we get answers to more of these questions that we have. Like, you know, obviously with Clone Wars, right? There were a lot of things about the Zillo Beast that we questioned and, you know, all these different things. And the Bad Batch kind of paid some of those things off. Now the Bad Batch has given us our own set of questions. So hopefully the next shows or the shows after that will give us the answers that we're looking for. I want to know more about what's going on with Rex's Clone Rebellion. I want to know what's going on with Asajj Ventress. I want to know what's going on with Cad Bane. Like, all these different variables. I freaked out at the end of this episode when I saw the Star Destroyer. And I was like, oh my gosh, a Star Destroyer. And my brother was sitting next to me like, what, you've never seen a Star Destroyer before? And I'm like, yeah, but in this show, like, we haven't seen one yet. It's all been the Venators. And one of the things I was waiting for was for them to transition the TK Trooper armor into the Stormtrooper armor. Never ended up happening. And as we got later on into the show, I never expected it to. But it was the thing I was hoping for. And I would have liked to have seen Star Destroyers. And lo and behold, at the very end, we got one. And I guess the ending with Tarkin, like, it made sense, right? Everything that happened. Okay, this whole project that Hemlock was working on, it's been nothing but, you know, expenses. It's been a waste of time. We just need to put our efforts onto Stardust. Which is kind of what happens with the TIE Defender project, too, in Rebels. I like that Emery finally joined us and that she's wanting to make up for the mistakes that she's made. So I'm sure if we ever get, like, a show about clones or something like that again, I'm sure she'll be around. One of the things that I would like for Star Wars animation to do, and I was bringing this up to some of my friends, I think they need to have 2 animated projects a year. The first of which being a Tales of series, like, right, like a series of 6 shorts, like, continue to do what you're doing there and just do that every year. And then do 1 season of a longer formatted show, like whether, you know, you do 22 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it is. That should be the future direction for Star Wars animation going forward, in my opinion. And I think that the Clone Wars animation that they've used for things like Tales of the Jedi and Bad Batch, like, we need to get to a point where we stop saying Clone Wars animation and just start calling this Star Wars animation, because that's what this needs to be. Everything that you do going forward that's in animation needs to be using this style. The Zillo Beast didn't end up doing as much as I thought it would have in this season finale, but at the same time, it also makes sense, right? Because if you would have kept the Zillo Beast around for any longer than you did, I feel like that would have just been an easy way out for all of our heroes. So the fact that it, like, got away, went into the wild, it was like, okay, this is now off the table. We can't use this as, like, a crutch to get our heroes out of this. They have to be able to figure it out themselves. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what you guys think of this season finale, of the series finale, if you will, and whether or not you guys liked it or didn't like it. What are your guys' overall thoughts on the Bad Batch? In a couple weeks' time, you guys, I'm going to be putting out a video giving you guys my overall thoughts on the entirety of the Bad Batch show. Now, next week, you guys, I think this is what my video schedule is going to look like for the next couple Wednesdays. So next Wednesday is going to be my thoughts on the Tales of the Empire series. And then I think in 2 weeks' time, I'll give you guys my overall thoughts on the Bad Batch series as a whole. For now, you guys, that is going to wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out my content. You know, every Monday and Wednesday, I'm putting out new videos. Thursdays, we're doing live streams, except tomorrow, we're not going to end up doing a live stream. I'll put a post out about it, but tomorrow, there's not going to be a video game live stream. But normally, every Thursday, we do a live stream, so just keep that in mind. And then around the time of the weekend, I'm putting out shorts, so hopefully you guys check those out as well. Lots of great content going up right now, you guys. Consider becoming a member to get plenty of perks. That's going to wrap us up. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.